Today's Reddit story comes from the subreddit TIFU, and it's titled TIFU by repeatedly shooting my boss in the head. Went paintballing with my office colleague as an end of the year celebration. In the game, I ran to the edge of the arena hoping to flank the other team. Two people on the other team had the same idea, and we found ourselves in a standoff behind some wooden cover. I shot the first person quickly, and they called their hit and went away. It was then between me and one other guy. I am going to call him Dave. Instead of wearing a full helmet, Dave wore only a mask, which left the rear and top side of his head uncovered. Unluckily for him, the top of his head was visible to me through a slit in his wooden cover. I consider for a moment what to do. Do I shoot him in the head and cause immense pain and agony? Do I wait for a shot against a more protected part of his body? In the end, I thought I only needed to shoot him once for him and I to be on our way. And by wearing a mask and not a helmet, he full well knew what could happen. So I steadied my aim and shot him through the gap in the wood clean on top of his head. I heard a scream, "Ah, you bastard!" But he didn't call the hit. He didn't even move from his position. So I shouted, "Call your hit," but he didn't respond. I am sure he heard me because I saw his head turn slightly when I spoke, but he didn't call his hit. So I shot him again, and again, and again, in the exact same spot on top of his head. With each shot, he let out a grunt, but did not call his hit. It was kind of satisfying, actually, seeing the paintball explode on top of his head. At this point, his head is yellow/red paintballing mess, but yet he still does not call his hit. Eventually, a marshal comes nearby and I tell him that he does not call his hit, but as you can see that he is covered in paint. The marshal tells me to shoot him once more to see it for himself. So right through the slit in the wood, I shoot him in the exact same spot on top of his head. He doesn't call his hit and the marshal pulls him out and escorts him away. I then see him after the game, crying his eyes out, holding a bag of frozen peas against his head, walking toward the car park. Turns out it was my line manager, my boss. I'm not sure whether to tell him it was me that shot him after the Christmas holidays. TLDR, repeatedly shot someone in the head with a paintball gun, causing them lots of pain, and then found out it was my boss. Edit 1. Did not expect this post to blow up. To those of you worried that I did serious damage to him, he is mostly fine, I think. He has a sore head and was quite embarrassed from crying in front of his staff. It was your basic rent-to-the-public paintball gun that did not possess any real dangerous power behind it. Though getting shot in the exact same spot over and over probably increased the pain quite a bit. Now, some have said he will recognize my voice. I didn't think about that. I am sure my voice from within a paintball helmet at a distance from behind some cover was heard, but probably not super recognizable given the circumstances. I don't really think he got a good look at me either, so I think I am in the clear. To be sure, I just checked my calendar for the coming work week and can see my boss has scheduled a meeting for everyone that attended the paintball event. Depending on how that goes, I may post a further update in the near future. Oh my goodness, if I was OP, I would take this to my grave. I will not say anything to anyone, obviously, except for Reddit because it's anonymous. So, the OP does provide an update of this. So let's just get into that. Last week, I noticed my boss scheduled a meeting for everyone that went paintballing that day. Today was that meeting. I was anxious all day and barely got any work done. I kept reading comments back to myself about how he is going to recognize my voice or that he had a mental breakdown of some kind and that I irresponsibly failed to notice before shooting another 4 paintballs straight at his head. It didn't help that people in the office were talking about how our line manager cried at paintballing. All I added to the conversation were lines were, "Oh yeah, I saw that after the game. What happened?" And "Wow, that's crazy." It became clear that nobody really knew what happened. Most people thought that he fell and banged his head really bad or something. Everyone knew he cried, even people that didn't go paintballing, but nobody actually knew what happened. Only I knew he didn't hit his head. He just took the same shot over and over to the same exact spot. He didn't call his hit and then cried afterwards. That's all that happened. Once we sat and settled in the conference room, the boss made it clear that he didn't want anyone in the office discussing out-of-work activities during work hours. Word must have gotten around that his crying was a topic of conversation. He said he is fine, nothing serious, and then said something that took every inch of my composure not to react. I don't know if I can quote him word for word, but he said something like this: "I raised my hand and was running back to base, and that's when I slipped in the mud and hit my head against a barrel." When he said those words, I felt like it was a Mexican standoff. He glanced around the room looking for a reaction, but I didn't give him one. Internally though, I was like, what in the actual F are you on about? I literally watched the paintballs one by one splat off the top of your head over and over before you got walked out of the game by a marshal. Also, it was the top of your head that was sore. Now, unless you dive like a dolphin into that barrel head first, I don't see how that would be a part of your body that got injured if you actually slipped and hit something. Externally though, my face tried to mirror the rest of the room and was a mixture of compassion and surprise. Shout out to all of you that commented that I should practice the shocked Pikachu face. That was literally what I went for. He still doesn't know who did it. Everyone else believes his story. I'm not sure whether I should let it go or call him out on it. TLDR. Boss lie about why he cried after I shot him over and over in the head. I am not sure what to do. Edit 1. My boss sent out a late work email informing our team he will be taking the rest of the week off to recover a little more. In response, my colleagues in our group chat have decided that we should pull some money together to buy him a get well soon gift and treat him to a work lunch next week when he is back. If anything interesting happens at that lunch, I'll be sure to post an update. OP is so lucky that he basically got away, and the boss, aka the line manager, still doesn't know that he's the one who did the shot. And basically, I think the boss is just trying to save face by not trying to elaborate and trying to put a kaput on everyone talking about it because he's so embarrassed by this whole thing. What would you guys do in OP's position? What do you guys think of this story? Leave those in the comment. And if you like these types of stories, remember to continue to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.